If you're thinking about investing, or if you already are, make sure you're following these 7 tips. They will help you start on the right foot, and for those who have already started, to improve your results and build a better and more sustainable portfolio. Hi guys, Gabriel here from Some Sense. Today, I want to share with you 7 investing tips that have helped me a lot during my journey, and I'm very confident they will help you too to make better investment decisions. These are things that I learned over time, but I wish I could have applied all at once from the beginning and saved a lot of mistakes, which is what I hope to help you accomplish from this video. So let's begin. Tip number 1, define your goals and find a mentor to help you accomplish them. So most people, when they start investing, they don't go through the first important step of defining what type of investor they want to be and what their goals are. Before you put money into any security, you need to have clear what your risk tolerance is, what's your time horizon, if you want to invest in the long term, or if you're more into day or swing trading. And once you define this, the next step is to find someone or a group of people that have the same principles as yours and have been successful at them. You don't necessarily need to know these people personally, but you want to learn as much as you can from them. So let's say you're conservative about risk, and such as myself, you want to invest in the long term, focusing your investing strategy on undervalued assets. In that case, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Benjamin Graham would be great examples of mentors for you. So study their strategy, go through their biographies, see the things they have in common and create your own views, taking the best from each. On the other hand, if you can handle high risk and you want to invest in a short term, just find people that have had success doing it. And this can basically apply to anything. If you want to invest in real estate, stock market, create your own company, there will always be successful and smarter people with similar goals that you can learn from. Tip number 2, think independently. Trust yourself and don't do things just to follow trends. Speculation is one of the things you will see the most when investing, and this speculation might create a FOMO in you, which is why you need to be more rational than emotional. When everybody's talking about a stock and everyone's either buying it, making the price increase so much that it might become overvalued and eventually fall again, or selling it, causing the price to drop, you need to stick to your principles and strategies. By this, I don't mean you need to do exactly the opposite to what everyone does, because sometimes consensus are right. But you need to reflect on why a certain thing is happening through a deep analysis on the situation, taking into account different perspectives from different people, including yourself, and comparing them to take the most important facts from each point of view. And if you conclude that you disagree with the general consensus, and this could include your methods as well, follow your instincts. As Ray Dalio, which is one of the greatest investors of all time and one of my personal mentors, says, the way that you make money in the stock market is to be against the overall consensus and be right. For example, if Company X, which sells air conditioners, had a tough year and did not accomplish the income estimations they had, since investors are most of the time very emotional, imagine they all start to sell their shares on Company X, causing the price to drop severely. Instead of doing the same thing simply because everyone else is, think if it's actually the right decision. And if after a deep analysis you think the company will recover and the market is simply overreacting, so your view is the stock is actually undervalued, and while everyone's selling it, you start to buy the asset at a very low price. If your prediction was right, and the demand for air conditioners increases after some time, since you bought at a very low price or you bought the dip, you will take the most profits out of it when shares start to increase again. For this reason, Warren Buffett says, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Tip number 3, circle of competence. And speaking about Warren Buffett, this is one of the things he mentions the most. So what is your circle of competence exactly? If you think about it, we all use different products every single day. And it goes from the shampoo you use to shower, your clothes, the brand of your food, the car you drive, and even the device you're watching this video from. But the point is that just as we use products, we also use the companies behind them on a daily basis. And there are some companies we have been loyal to with or without realizing it our entire lives. So the best thing to do, especially when you start investing, is to start with companies that you already fairly know or you're familiarized with. In other words, that are within your circle of competence. This will make financial analysis a lot easier for you to understand than using a company you don't know, you have no experience in their field, or you haven't heard before and probably don't even know what products or services they sell exactly. So invest in things you know. One of the easiest ways to see if you're investing wisely is to ask yourself why you own a specific asset or why you bought a specific stock. And you must have a very clear reason. If you can't answer that question, you're most likely investing in things you don't know or that are outside your circle of competence. Now, this doesn't mean that if you like a business and have used their products before, the stock will be a good buy as of right now. So always make sure to know their numbers as a company and that it's trading at a fair price to get in. Tip number 4, and you might have heard this one before, is to diversify, but to a certain extent. This allows you to have a better risk management because you don't depend on a single stock or sector. Imagine diversification as a protective shield to your portfolio, and this shield will be prepared for any situations the market might have that will affect your investments. If the assets that you own in your portfolio are American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and United Airlines, you're highly dependent on a single sector. If an unexpected event such as COVID happens, you're 100% exposed to its consequences. In these charts, you can see how these different airlines were equally affected by COVID. On the other hand, if you also own some healthcare stocks, these might actually rise from this, as we can see in these examples too during COVID. This way, you're able to make up for the losses of the other assets. And that is what diversification is all about. Being prepared for different situations, so while some assets may decrease in value, others can actually benefit from it, neutralizing losses or even making profits. You can diversify in a lot of ways, by buying shares in different sectors, different countries, doing a combination of stocks, bonds, ETFs, etc. Now, why should you do it only to a certain extent? And this is tied closely to our previous circle of competence tip. If you see an investor holding a personal portfolio of 300 different stocks, even though we could say it's diverse enough, it is very unlikely that the circle of competence of any person is so big that can hold so many assets. So chances are this person might be investing in things he doesn't fully know, or might not give you a clear answer as to why he owns that specific assets for all 300 of them. So in a nutshell, diversify within your circle of competence. Tip number 5, and this is one of the greatest and most valuable pieces of advice that I've received as I took it from Ray Dalio's book, The Changing World Order, for which I'll be making a video soon because it's definitely a must read. Study the past to anticipate the future. Now, if you apply this correctly, it could really benefit you in the long term. As an investor, you need to have clear that you can't see the future, and that neither you nor anybody knows for sure whether a stock is going to go up or down within the next 5 minutes, and even less within the next month or year. However, when you analyze a business, what you try to do is to gather as many facts as you can and as you have available to make a prediction. And while you'll always run the risk of being wrong, as Dalio says, what you need to focus on is increasing the chances of being right by using those facts. And when you study the past, you realize that there are some patterns that different events in history had prior to the actual event happening. So when you see those patterns in the present day, this could be a sign of a specific scenario coming soon that you can anticipate to. Imagine today you woke up and you notice your face kind of red. Then, after a couple hours, you started feeling cold. Then you have a headache and realize you have a fever. A month later, you wake up another day and you also notice a red face, started feeling cold, the headache comes, and you have a fever again. And then a year later, the same thing happens in the same order. This will allow you to, at any point in the future, if one day you see redness in your face, you know that there are high chances that you're going to get sick. So you can take your provisions earlier because you've taken the past patterns as facts for your prediction. Just like with the fever example, many events in history like recessions, currency devaluations, stock market bearish and bullish movements have had some prior patterns in common, which, if you study carefully, might help you get ahead of those situations and be prepared to take the most advantage of them. Tip number 6, follow up with your investments, especially if you invest in the long term. Companies change over time. Their economical situation changes either for better or worse, and so does their management, which plays an important role on which direction the business takes. So you have to be prepared to embrace those changes and modify your strategy with certain assets. You might not consider a stock to be a good holding today in your portfolio as it was the time you acquired it. On the flip side, a company that you like that wasn't at a very good buying position before might be a good opportunity today. When you buy shares of a company, you gotta actually mentalize yourself that you're part owner of that business, even if you only own one share. When you take this approach, you will stay updated on what changes in the business that might affect its numbers for better or worse, so you can make your decisions accordingly. Tip number 7, always have present that price is different than value. You should never judge an asset based on its price, but on its value. Now, just so you have a clear idea of the difference between those things. Imagine you have a regular watch that only gives you the time, but because of its brand, it's worth $3,000. On the other hand, you have a $200 smartwatch that besides time tracks your exercises, calories burned, sleep quality, receives notifications, etc. For this example, we can say that the price of the first watch is higher than its value, and the value of the second watch is higher than its price. You must apply the same logic to the assets you own. A stock worth $100 might be cheaper or more valuable than a stock worth $20. I really hope this video could give you a better orientation on what path you need to follow as an investor according to your own goals. I also invite you to watch the other videos in this channel and subscribe if you want to get more content like this. See ya!